We are talking about love. Love. Just love. Side with love. Choose love. Love over hate. Easy, right? It's easy. Just love. Just go out, love, right? It's anything but easy. It is profound, it is challenging. It has been deeply heretical in our history. It is important. It is the center of our faith. In my sermon series this year, we are exploring the Unitarian Universalist revised principles of our faith. There are 6 principles and one that resides in the center of all of them: love. The principles state, the beginning of it, as Unitarian Universalists, we draw from our heritages of freedom, reason, hope, and courage, building on the foundation of love. Love is the power that holds us together and is at the center of our shared values. We are accountable to one another for doing the work of living our shared values through the spiritual discipline of love. The spiritual discipline of love. If that's not a charge, I don't know what is. Now, I could never cover everything that needs to be said about love in one sermon, but I am going to encourage us to go deeper into our faith and explore what this love thing is from a theological faith and belief perspective. It's important to know that this is not a new concept. The roots of Unitarian Universalism are in love. For those who don't know, Unitarian Universalism comes from 2 different traditions: Unitarianism and Universalism. That's how we got that long name. I have been known to reduce the 2 threads of our faith to some very basics. Unitarians believed that there wasn't a Trinity, that we are all one. And Universalists believe in universal salvation, that God was love. So let's unpack the Universalism one a little bit. Universalists were the first ones to say, wait, so only Christians go to heaven? That just doesn't seem right. They believed in a loving and caring God. They believed specifically that this loving God would not let anyone go to hell. They believed that love was powerful, more powerful than death. So imagine being in that faith, and if you weren't worried about this afterlife, you could spend more time embracing the tenets of love in this lifetime. They believed that it was their duty to replicate this love on earth. Some call this bringing heaven to earth. I've heard some reduce our Universalist ancestors saying that they loved the hell out of this world. My colleague, Reverend Susan Smalley, tells a story about Hosea Ballou, a major theologian of early 19th century Universalism. He was traveling through the New Hampshire hills with a Baptist preacher, and they were arguing theology as they traveled, as we are wont to do. At one point, the Baptist looked over and said, "Brother Ballou, if I were a Universalist and feared not the fires of hell, I could hit you over the head, steal your horse and saddle, and ride away, and I'd still go to heaven." Hosea Ballou looked over him and said, "If you were a Universalist, that idea would never occur to you." The idea would never occur to you. If you believed at your very core that all of us were loved, all of us are worthy, it would never occur to us to hurt one another. Cameron Trimble, a congregational entrepreneur, believes that this is the role of the congregation, to practice this love. She says that congregations are at their best schools of love, places where we can be with each other who make us more compassionate, generous, peace-filled, and kind, where we practice those things that our children named, all of it as we develop this sense of love. I'm going to dig into 3 aspects of love at the center of our principles today as we dig further into how our faith unites us. These might be things that you need to hear, but honestly, this was the sermon I needed to preach for myself. I hope you benefit from it as well. One is that love is a collective, not a solitary act. The second is that love over hate is not enough. And third is how love as the center of our faith is still a revolutionary, even heretical act. So first of all, let's look at that love is a collective, not a solitary act. I can only think of 2 kinds of love that can be done in a solitary way, although I'd argue that they still involve others, which is feeling love for yourself or love for nature or the environment. Those you can do on your own, but really, ultimately, they usually involve someone else too. Every other kind of love, romantic love, friendship love, community love, justice love, requires other human beings in order to fulfill it. This necessitates some kind of relationship or community in order to practice it. It is just another reason that having a community is so critical to both our faith and our spiritual practices. Reverend Kathleen McTeague, the retired director of the UU College of Social Justice, says, "Fear's pronoun is singular. I've got to watch out for me and mine. Love's pronoun is plural. We're in this together, and together we can grow things that will blossom even in a time of drought." The second point is that choosing love over hate is not enough. How many of you know HRC, Human Rights Committee? They've got great t-shirts. Great t-shirts, great caps. They've all got slogans that say love over hate in different ways, or the statement, love wins. It feels like an obvious statement for many of us. And I'm not saying it's not true, but I think we need to push beyond that, because love and hate are binaries that divide us. Wendell Berry, an American novelist, poet, and activist, wrote a wonderful essay that I found because of Brigitte, thank you so much, for Plow Quarterly magazine, said, "Can love take sides?" He finds it problematic to divide our culture into those who love and those who hate. He talks specifically about us liberal folks who are on the side of love and the state of our divisive country right now. Barry says, "Because the confrontation is between 2 categories of people who do not know each other, it will be easy for the side of love first to understand love merely as opposite and opposed to hate, and then generalize this opposition as an allegorical battle of love versus hate, exchanging slogan for slogan, gesture for gesture, shout for shout. Then if nature and the rule of battle go unchecked, the side of love begins to hate the side of hate. Just so, love that hates cancels itself. It cannot survive its hatred of hate any more than one can survive minus one. It is no more. That pushed all my buttons. I want my love to be as simple as hating the haters. Simple. Here's the haters. I don't like them. Love wins. And it doesn't mean that we shouldn't not like when there's hate. Just to be clear. We cannot condone hateful actions, but it does mean that we have to see love as more than a category that some fit in and others don't. It means that we have to look at the whole world as love. We have to have love as the lens for how we see that world. Barry continues, "It seems natural to me to think that there is a law of love operating in this world. If you see the world's goodness and beauty, and if you love your own place in it, then your love itself will be one of your life's greatest rewards." We need to see love and goodness all around us. We need to work from a default place of love. We need to catch ourselves when we feel like we are better peddlers of love than other people are. Love is available to everyone and everything. Finally, I want to posit that despite all the slogans, having love at the center of our faith is still a revolutionary, even a heretical act. I will posit the world cannot have justice, freedom, or peace without love. I believe that it is not possible to kill or oppress others if you are truly, deeply connected to that deep and abiding love of the universe or in our fellow humans. Love is the heart of our faith. It is a force that is stronger than any of us individually. It is a deep, abiding love that affirms our worthiness and our dignity no matter what. It is a love that says no matter what we achieve or say or believe or do, and we like to achieve and do in this group, right? No matter what, we are loved. It is a love that holds us together as interdependent. It is a love that brings hope and joy and connection and peace. For some of us, love is the divine, a love that holds us both tenderly and fiercely. For others, we find it in ourselves and each other and in the universe around us. For some outside of Unitarian Universalism and other liberal faiths, believing in this power of love without the pronouncement of a single Savior or God is absolutely heretical. I'm glad to embrace that title, especially if it means spreading more of that love. I find it a source of hope, but also of courage and commitment, and I don't believe we can liberate ourselves or each other without it. Love is at the center of my faith. I wish to proclaim that from the rooftops. I want it to challenge me to live more fully into that power of love each and every day. I will never be done practicing it. Love at the center gives me hope that we can overcome strife and support each other, that we can work for justice, and I believe that we can actually change the world through the simple and incredibly hard work of actively loving the hell out of this world. May it be so for you as well.